Assalamu alaikum, everybody. This is Mahvish Akhtar with another episode of FemmeIcon. We're just going to wait for a few people to join in. As you can see, the topic we will be talking about celebrity culture. Last time we talked about entertainment and its influences on us and our society at large, the global society. And this is kind of a continuation of that. And I mean, it doesn't have to be in any order. So after this, you can go back and take a look at that as well. And it would be helpful in the sense that it will be good to watch. And I would love your input on that episode as well. There are a lot of new people that have been coming in and that we have been talking to, and I've been talking to and communicating on this channel and my personal channel. And so I wanted to go ahead and introduce myself and introduce the work we do while we wait for people to join in. My name is Mahvish Akhtar, and I'm a journalist and a counselor and a coach. I've been a professional journalist for about almost 25 years. Femmerepublica, this venture started about six years ago. The idea behind this is to provide information about mental health and social issues, mostly revolving around women, and then provide safe spaces where women can go and discuss these issues, not just in terms of just discussing and finding other like-minded people and other people who need support from one another, but also provide mental health services, mental wellness services. So we have psychologists and wellness coaches and counselors available, professionals who can privately and discreetly help take sessions. And nobody's going to get to your records. Nobody's going to be able to manipulate any of our crew members, our employees, our people who are working with us to get into what your information is. Only you will have access to your information. So that is one part, the most major part that we work into. And of course, all these things that we're doing, these kinds of sessions, and then our social media and our website, which is Femmerepublica.com. The articles that you'll find there, the information that you will find there, that is just to educate about the issues that our, society faces, and about the lack of information that we just keep, giving you and helping you participate in. Whoever else has any information that, they can also share with us. And then the other part is our e-commerce part of the website, which is called FemmeCart. Over there, we help women who are doing small businesses, whether they're doing it from home or they have some small setup anywhere. We help them sell and market their products, whether it's a service or it's product, any kind of product. We help them. We put their products on our website, and we market it for them, and we help them sell it. And we also provide consultation for entrepreneurs and startups and women who are just starting out in their business ventures and just want help on how to go about it. So these are two major parts of our work, and the two most important. And then we obviously have events, and we do other things that are helpful. And of course, we also try to help the men in our community, in our society, in a global community and global society as well, because we all have to work together. We can't have one without the other. We can't fix anything or help anyone without while trying to just shun one part of the society. So, we all kind of try to work together, but our main focus as women, providing safe spaces for women, trying to help women in a private way and in a way that their trust is not broken, the camaraderie between women is not broken. And we also try to remain honest with our men in our society and provide them with those spaces, provide them with that security that they need, because sometimes they need it too, right? Fair is fair. So that's who I am. I'm the president of Femmerepublica, and that's what we do. And we do introduce our crew members every now and again on our socials, and they're definitely, all of them are there on our website. You can go over there and meet all of them, so to speak. And we'll definitely have a meet and greet with all of them on our socials as well. We should do that, and definitely let you guys meet them and maybe even interact with them if all of them are okay with it. All right, so that was about us. That was about the company. Let's get started. All right. So today we're talking about celebrity culture. Here's the thing about celebrities. I'm not gonna go into too much detail about what a celebrity is and what kind of celebrity we're talking about, because anybody who's famous for any reason, right? We're not gonna go into who, what, where, why. Anybody who's famous for any reason is a celebrity. So we're gonna start with why it's a problem, why we want to talk about it, why we want to, why we want to decipher this whole thing and this whole, idea of entertainment, a celebrity, and all of these things, because it's a constant part of our life, and we all know that. We all know that it is just stuck with us, and as time passes by, more and more becomes a constant part of our life. So I want to explain to you what, like I said, we're not going to go into what constitutes a celebrity, because now it's like, whether you've seen them on TV, whether you've seen them in movies, whether influencers, whatever. Anybody that is shining in front of you, anybody you're just seeing and you're like, wow, that's a celebrity. Okay, it could be somebody that it could be anybody. And you'll understand what I mean by that in just a minute. So, Robert Van Kerken, an academic from Sydney, Australia, he works at the Sydney University. He's a researcher and academic. He's written like countless. He's written and published countless papers and research papers and whatnot. He says this is celebrity culture. Celebrity, everything attached to it is economy of attention. And we'll go in detail of it in a minute. Attention has become a form of capital in the information and internet age. So I'll expand on that. Again, what are celebrities? Let's discuss that now. Celebrities are products that are marketed to us. We are the consumers, and celebrities are products. Is that making sense? Because just think about it. What do we consume day and night? What do we do in our free time? Every single free time, what do we do? What is the job of the PR companies that work for these people to perfect their image, whatever it may be? Whether it's to make them look perfect, or make them look unhinged, or make them look glamorous, or make them look like, I don't care, whatever the image works for this particular person, or to sell this particular product, or to sell this particular movie or show, whatever it may be, or just to keep us watching their lives in general. Whatever it is, these people are products, and they are aware of that. They're fully aware of that. It's us who are not aware of it. It's us who are going, oh my God, he's so real. Oh my God, look at her. She's so cute. I wish I could be this self-aware. I wish I could be this honest about myself and about my life. We are the ones who are gulping it down. So we're the consumers, and these are the people who are the products, and there's a whole team behind them that's getting them ready and has all of these things, whether we're talking about celebrities in Pakistan or in the US or anywhere in the world. That is how it works. And the more money you can throw at this, the better the product will be. Whether you're talking about looks, or you're talking about performance, or you're talking about clothes or whatever. If you can send a person, and I'm not saying every single person is like that. I'm not saying every single celebrity is made like that. Some are honest artists. That's also true. And some start up as honest artists and then get caught up in all of it and, turn into a product. But most of this whole industry, that it's an industry that is, that is providing services and marketing these people to us so they can make money. Because we are spending money on these people, remember? We're spending money on the products there and services they're providing to us. So, these people are being marketed to us as products, and their services are being marketed to us, and we are providing, giving money for the services of the watching and the being entertained, or whatever you want to call it. So these people, like us, are slaves to the system because this is their talent. I'm not saying every single one of them is not talented. Many, many, many are. This is their talent. Someone's good at, let's say, acting. They're like, hey, you're good at this. Let me throw money at this and send you to acting school. Some don't even have to go to acting school. Let me just train you. You work it in a few movies, you'll get better at it. You work in a few shows, well, the directors and the other actors and the writers and the producers will help you hone in your skills. And then we'll put more money into you. We'll get you, some PR people to help you with your image and how we show you to the public. And there you go. And if that starts to work, then they do more of that. And then you have this person who's good at, has the skill. And then you put more money into it. It's like, okay, this looks great, but if we fixed the nose slightly, if we fixed the hairline a little bit, it would work better. And if you do it gradually, people won't notice as much. Or if they do notice, they're not going to care because people like to look at pretty things. They get over it. They might know it, but they'll be like, you know what, I don't really care. He or she, they're good at what they do and whatever. I like it. Right? And so this keeps getting better and better for us and better for them because we keep paying, they keep producing, they have more and more money to make it better. And it takes them less money to make it better, but way more money. But we have to pay way more money, so they get more money. Right? So this is the whole system. And the people involved are the PR companies, the agents, the sponsors, the producers. All of these people are involved. All of these people get a huge paycheck from it. All of these people are, and you would, and they participate, of course. They're the ones who are helping out. And, other actors who are around them, other producers, other actors, other players. If we're talking about actors, we'll just take that example because there's a lot of other people. I mean, it happens to writers too. It happens to producers too. They have to present themselves. They have to be. And there's other kinds of celebrities. It's not just one kind, but we're just taking that example for now. Now, who's not a priority in this? The only people that are not a priority in this are the actual consumers, the people who become fans of that celebrity. Because the only thing that's looked at in terms of us, the regular people, is, all right, in terms of, all right, they're the audience, age, gender, this interest in terms of the focus group. Will they like it? Will they not like it? What did they not like about it? How do we fix it? All of that. And then once that's done, how it impacts us, how much money we're spending on it. Are we able to spend that money freely? Is it affecting the budgets? Are people hurting because of it, like financially, even mentally, because so much money is going into it? Their kids are forcing them to spend the money. Parents are not able to, but then they can't fight with their kids constantly. All of those issues. These are some of the issues coming on top of my head. They're not bothered by that. So the people that are, because we think, oh my God, these people care so much about us, and this. No, the people that they care the least about, or anyone in this whole, mess of things, anyone who's cared about the least is the fans, if that's what you want to call people like us. I think somebody had said something here. No, nobody. So that's the very superficial introduction to what a celebrity is and what a fan is. And of course, there are very nuanced details that we will talk about. So what is important to realize is that they're not doing this for us. Some are doing it because they enjoy doing it, which is, yes, absolutely true. A lot of them are doing it because, they do it and they enjoy the attention and they enjoy being validated by people appreciating what they do. And that's an honest reaction. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with it. Like I said, not everybody is like that, but the majority of the people, enjoy the attention. And not because there's you and me or a particular person. They just enjoy. They like that their work is being appreciated. And that's an honest reaction, and that can be appreciated. Now, but most of, like we said, most of the persona, the personality becomes part of it comes from the part of this strategy. And you can tell, actually, if you start watching a person from the very beginning of their career, anybody, take any kind of celebrity, from the very beginning of their career, and then you start watching how they evolve from day one, And now we can see that because now we have, the internet. So a lot of times we can see that. So if you watch them with that eye, with that all of this that we're talking about, and then right now we'll continue to talk about. If you watch with that eye, I mean, the eye of your mind, you'll see subtle differences in how gradually they've been trained and shaped, and how they talk and the things they say, and of course it has to be gradual. You can't have a sudden change because it will be noticeable, and you don't want these things to be noticeable, right? So, and of course, in all of this, like I talked about focus group and audience research and all of that, as it goes into the movies and the shows and the and all of that, कि किसको क्या चीज पसंद आएगी, even when you're getting ready to market a person, even in that, all of this goes into that. Even in all of that, they have to research कि अच्छा अगर ये person है और हम इस age group के लिए और इस gender के लिए और इस पाकिस्तान में तो इतना चीज़ का इशू नहीं होता, but if you're looking at the West, और हम इस ethnic group के लिए इसको launch कर रहे हैं, तो किस तरह की मैनरिज्म होनी चाहिए, किस तरह की लैंग्वेज इस पर्सन को बोलनी चाहिए, what kind of places this person should be caught, hanging out in, what kind of friends should they have, what kind of other celebrity friends should they have, what kind of other non-celebrity friends should they have, what kind of family life should they have, and all of those things. So everything is set up. I mean, yeah, their parents might be their actual parents and siblings might be their actual siblings, but everything else, about their life events and about who they know and who they don't know, how they were brought up, everything is set up. So, and it's not, nothing is a coincidence. I mean, yeah, stories come out, of course, now, and things happen, and then they have to cover up, and there's a lot of, disasters and PR issues. But for the most part, everything is designed for them, for each demographic. If somebody is being set up for teens, that person will most likely attract teens. There will be very, very few adults or people in their 20s or 30s or 40s who will find that person entertaining. And you'll see that. I mean, there will be some people, of course, there's always, an odd number of people, into things that are not for their age group or not, they're not the demographic for that. But you will see that they will dress a certain way, they will talk a certain way, they will act a certain way. Like I'm into a lot of things that are, that a lot of, and this is not in any way I'm saying this as somebody who's proud of this. I am not proud of this at all. But there's a lot of things that I don't appreciate, but I can understand why young people would appreciate it. But then there's something where I'm just like, why? But why? Understanding something and appreciating it and liking it are two different things. I understand that, okay, at that age, you have a certain interest, you have a certain way of, thinking. And while at my age, I don't think that way and I can't relate to it, I do understand. Because of course I understand, because, you think, you try to understand, and you have all these books on psychology and books on different ways of deciphering people's thought processes. So yeah, I get it. But it would not attract me, right? But then there are certain people, certain celebrities that young people are insanely in love with and just can't, oh my God, And I'm like, I cannot wrap my head around it. I just can't. And that's not because there's a generation gap or communication gap or anything like that. But that's because they're packaged that way, for the lack of a better word. They're packaged that way that a person in my position, in my with my cultural background, with where I am in life, with what I'm dealing with the things that I am doing right now, there's no way that could appeal to me. There's no way that the shows that person does, or the music that person does, or the way the person dresses could ever appeal to me. And so another girl, another woman who's in her early 20s that I would get along with in many other ways. We think so much alike, right? She would appreciate that actor, that singer, that whoever, whatever entertainer or celebrity that is. She appreciates, and that's why it's weird for me, because I'm thinking, but me and you, we think alike. We're so much alike. How would you appreciate this person? What is it in your brain? But it's the marketing. It's the packaging of the whole thing. That's the only difference. The life she lives, the way she lives, where she lives, her background, her culture, who she's living with, the outfits, obviously there are some differences, right? In her age, in what she's doing right now, in her marital status, and the amount of children she has, the ages that they are, or if she has them or not, or if she's married or not, all of those things. There are some differences. So no matter how much we connect on whatever level, intellectual level, those differences, they capture them so well. And then that's what they appeal to. It could be your emotional connection to certain things. It could be the way you like to dress. It could be just certain things that capture you. It might not be every time, but in certain things. And so that's what I notice. Because sometimes I just sit with these people who are like me, but a little bit different. Like, come from like older millennials, or I'm Gen X, so older millennials, and we think alike. We like similar things, and we hang out and all of those things, and then some song will come on, and they'll be like, "Oh, I love this artist," and I'm just like, how could you stand this person? She's terrible. But that's the whole thing. She's been targeted specifically towards this particular group. She's not for me. And the people who've been targeted towards me, I love them. I'm not going to deny it. They've done such a good job. And I know that this is a market and this is their product. And I'll deny it. Anybody says to me, "Oh, this is their products," I'll be like, "You shut up. They're not. This is the person, and I love this person, and I'm taking this view to my grave." But that's the whole thing. We're feeding into this. We know it. And I'm not going to sit here and pretend that, I am above it. Of course I'm not going to sit here and pretend that. I can't. Because obviously nobody is. We all fall into this trap. Important thing is to know and not invest too much into it. Like, I'm going to give you an example. There's so many of these people that we know and that we understand कि इनके साथ All right, so all of you who have just joined, Assalamu alaikum. And again, not going to try and say your names separately because आप लोगों को सबको पता है कि मैं आप लोगों के नामों को I butcher them. Yeah. So like I was saying, कि हम लोगों का, they have been, but again, अभी हम ये बात कर रहे हैं और ये बात हमें समझ में आ रही है कि yes, they're marketed to us in a certain way. They don't have a personal connection to us. They don't do certain things because they love their fans, because they love us. They don't know us. They have no investment towards us. और ज़्यादा as, ये internet culture और constant streaming जो हमारे पास हो रही है उससे और भी ज़्यादा हमें ये लगता है कि we can be in touch with them. We can constantly get to know them. We can constantly be with them or next to them or have information about them. तो वो एक constant वो भी हो जाता है. तो वो हमारी feelings की almost validation हमें लगता है कि हो रही. I mean, I'll give you some examples of how they indulge us and almost make a fool of us. I'm sure I haven't yet gotten into Pakistani entertainment as much. I'm getting there. I've started watching some things here and there. And I'm not proud of it. I'm not saying this with pride. But I'm sure some of you, if not all of you, I'm sure some of you heard of the whole thing going on with Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds. There's some movie, there's a controversy. And I'll be frank with you, I do not care for Blake Lively. I do not care for Ryan Reynolds. I have not seen anything that these guys are in. And I never plan on watching anything. But ये नई movie आई and there's a controversy about this movie. And I saw 1 or 2 reels or shorts. And then now I'm just like, oh, I want to know more. Oh, what's going on? I want to know. I care now. And I don't need to care. I'm not going to watch the movie. I'm not going to, I don't like either one of them as actors. I don't watch their movies. I don't have any care or concern about them. So what do I want to watch? What do I want to know what's happening? And that's how they get you. They have me hooked because I just want to know the drama. Just because. Because everybody talks about, oh, they're such an awesome couple. And I never cared about them as a couple either. I was just like, okay, yeah, they're 2 people who either are a happy couple or pretend to be. Either way, not my concern. Because I'm out of that age where you actually really care. There's a certain age group also. And of course, I do care about some people, some couples. I do. I'm not going to lie. There are some celebrity couples I'm not in. Even though I know all of these facts, I still indulge every now and again. But I watched some random ones, and then I was like, wait, what am I doing? Why am I doing this to myself? What? And I stopped. And of course, I don't get that much time where I would be watching it, like, all the time. But, once in a while, you're just scrolling, and you see, like, a video, and it's like, how long is it? Oh, it's 7 minutes. Okay, I'll watch it. And it's about them, and you'll watch it, and then you're like, what did I just do? Why? I don't like either one of them. I don't care. So, and same thing happened with Jennifer Lopez and her husband. I'm completely forgetting his name right now. I don't care about either one of them. I've never watched any show, any song, anything that she's ever been in. I've never cared for him. I mean, he's a decent actor. I guess he's a few movies in there up until Batman. Ben Affleck. Got it. So yeah, watched it here and there. Not a huge fan. But this controversy started. She did a movie. She did a documentary. Didn't watch it. Didn't want to. Don't want to still. Never understood her music. But this controversy started. Everybody's talking about it. Every channel, every time you open YouTube for any purpose, you open it for work, and you're bombarded with these images, and you're like, oh, let me click one, right? And then again, I watched 1 or 2, and then I'm like, why am I doing this? I don't even care about these people. Why? And you get invested for no reason at all. And I'm giving you these 2 examples because first, these are people that I absolutely had no interest in. I don't like them. I don't care about them. I've never seen anything that they have been involved in other than, actually, no, nothing that I've been, maybe, like I said, Ben Affleck, maybe 1 or 2 movies. But other than that, no, nothing. But it was just right there in my face, and they make it so interesting that even a person like me who doesn't care and doesn't watch irrelevant things clicked it, right? And the other thing I want to, put forth in this regard is, think about it. We had Jennifer person and Ben Affleck. See, I remembered his name and now I forgot her name. And then 2-3 weeks into it, she became old news. And then we had this other Blake Lively and her husband. or the director or producer of that was the main two people, but her husband was there. Then we had those two people, right? The old news ho gayi within 3 weeks. Because people were getting tired of that. So they were like, nope, we need something new. We need something new. Let's think about what's happening next. Right? So whether the whole story, it was true or not true, they needed something to engage people. They needed something to keep people busy. To keep people, okay, अब next क्या दिखाना है लोगों को? अब next किस चीज से पैसे बनाने? उधर से पैसे बना लिए ना? The whole team, the agents, the PR team, the directors, the producers, the sare actors, everybody. And I'm sure there's a ton of more people involved. मैं तो बस 2-4 ऊपर के लोगों के, I'm telling you names of like the major game changers, kingmakers, as they're called in the industry, like I know. But वो हो गया जितनी हाइप उसके लिए चाहिए थी, जितनी हाइप उन सब चीज़ों के लिए चाहिए, right? You got that done. You got to move on to the next one, because now all the people who wanted to watch it in whatever. Okay, so the internet was kind of connecting and reconnecting. I hope we are back. Let me know if there's any issues with connection. You can't see me properly or anything like that, or hear me. Let me know. And whether people were watching because they actually wanted to watch or they were hate watching. Like, I kind of was, because I don't like any of these people. And that's where cancel culture comes in. We're just going to talk about it a little bit because that's not the main topic. But that's what it is, right? Like, that's what happened to Jennifer Lopez, didn't it? It was like, oh, she's a terrible person and we don't like her anymore. And everybody just kind of put a label on her. Like, she's nobody. She's not a good person. She did this and she did that. And she, and nobody really knows what's happening in her brain. Nobody really knows what really happened to her. Nobody really knows if they just kind of, churned up this narrative to present to the world about her and made her look like she was a bossy and controlling and narcissistic person, whereas we don't know. And we don't know what is it that really he did to her that made her that way, or she did to him that he reacted in a certain way. We don't know what really happened. So we just, nobody knows what happens between a couple. But we just kind of decided, because a few people told us online. And we decided, and everybody said, okay, she's canceled. And that's also a terrible thing to be doing to people. And again, I'll repeat that it's okay to have certain artists. It's okay to appreciate certain artists. It's okay to say their art is beautiful, their singing is beautiful, their acting is amazing, they're great at what they do, and appreciate it and watch it and be entertained by it. But when it comes to the point where we get invasive into their lives and we mess up their personal lives and we have opinions about it, and according to those opinions we disrupt their personal lives, that's when it's a problem. And I understand that they're also, a made up product for us, but our human decency should also reflect within this character, that why are we so invasive? Why can't we just say, no, enough, I'm not watching this. This is someone's personal life, or not. If it's not their personal life, then it's made up. And that's also not okay. That's also something I don't want to indulge in. So either way, we have to think of ourselves and we have to think of others. That if this person is an honest person and trying to just make a living and trying to put their art out there, then we need to have that respect. Us insan ke liye, we need to have that respect and keep that boundary. And if they're fake and they've been churned out by, the system, then leave it alone. And if you still like their art, then yeah, watch or listen or whatever, capacity that you enjoy that artist. Don't bother with their personal life, whatever it may be. That's not your business in any way. So yeah, this can work either way. You can be honestly like somebody and just gradually get obsessed with them, or you can hate somebody and just watch them because you want to see what's next. So I can hate on it, I can comment on it, I can just say, oh, so terrible, and you should leave her, you should leave him, and this person doesn't belong with this person. As we do, we're all aware. I don't need to go in detail. And as social media and streaming services have gotten more and more common, this thing has grown. This thing has gotten worse and worse. On the one hand, it's super convenient. But on the other hand, it's created a mess. And then it's not just in terms of like, we have social media, we have, which has created the, real influencers, and then reality TV, and then we have all of that other business. So, and we know all the good that comes from it. I'm not going to go in detail of that. I want to talk about what happens when we have, I'm sorry, I'm just a little, my kid was saying, my younger one, he jinxed me. I was preparing for this, just running some, last minute notes on these pages, the things that I wanted to be sure not to miss. So I read them over again over here, so I don't miss them on the pages of the notebook. And he goes, what are you doing? I was like, I'm just writing some last minute notes. And he goes, what do you do when you make a mistake? And I'm like, well, I have everything written down, so I don't really usually make a mistake. I'm like, do you mean just when I slip up and say a word or a sentence wrong? Is that what you mean? He's like, yeah. I'm like, I just say I apologize and I repeat. That's all. He goes, what about if you forget something? And I'm like, well, that's not really something that happens. I have everything written down. When I'm done with a point and I don't know which point to make next, usually I just look at my notebook. It's in front of me. Or I have a little board next to me. Sometimes I have things pasted over there. And he goes, yeah, but what if you don't have anything in front of you and you forget everything? And I was like, usually that's not the case. I always have something in front of me. And right now, even though I have everything in front of me and I can always look down, which I do, I don't know. I just kind of, everything just went out of my head for a second. I don't know why. My head went completely elsewhere. That happens when you get old and it's late. No, it's just been a really rough day. I haven't been feeling well, but we're good. We're good. I'm back. So I was talking about reality TV. So then we have all of this other kinds of, streaming services where everything is available all the time. And then we have the internet where we can go and feel personally connected to these artists. And we think that we have them. We actually have the real person, and this person's actually giving us attention, and we're actually talking to them, and they're actually communicating with us. And we'll talk about, in a minute, we will talk about how that's really harmful and what's the issue with that. And of course, even if it's like a made-up image, well, we're getting to communicate with them. We're getting to talk to them, right? What's the harm in that? We'll talk about that in a minute too. So coming back to reality TV, that started happening, and the more it happened, the more it was revealed, more lives of these people were revealed. whether it was real life or not, we do know that they were rich. So more about their money, more about their how they spend it, their glamour, their attitude towards life that none of us can afford. That none of us can afford, none of us can make that kind of money with our, no matter how rich we get, if we're making it, if we're doing our normal jobs, our honest jobs, no matter how well we're doing it, we can't make that kind of money. It's just not possible. So all of that, what that proved, what that showed, the global community, the global society as a whole, what that showed us was that success is not based on merit, on knowledge, on skill. It's not based on any of that. Success is based on other things. And I'll be honest with you, we still don't know what those other things are. Because it's not about talent, right? Now, being successful is not about talent. If you're looking at reality shows all around you, if you're looking at The Bachelor and what else other things are out there, or all these other reality shows that talk about like meeting your perfect person and those blind date shows or whatnot, it's not about like having any kind of talent. It's just about going on a show and that's it. It's going on a show and finding a whole lot of money because you matched with somebody or because somebody found you somewhere. That's what they want to make you believe, because those are not real either. We know that, but the rest of the world doesn't think that way because, and even if we know that, we don't know that. So counting on skill, counting on how many people, on just skill and just pure, your knowledge and your level of learning things, that's not something that we depend on for money and for glamour and for actually, being important in this world. I mean, how many times have you heard from young adults these days, even older people, not just young adults, but how many times have you heard from these people, from everyone, that they want to be YouTubers so they can be rich? And how many actual YouTubers are actually super rich? I mean, a lot of them are making good money, sure, but how many are actually super rich and are living off of it, living well, like super well off of it? We all know the answer. Again, I'm not going into statistics because we all know the answer. And if you don't know, please Google it. You'll find out. And what we're now doing is all of the bad behavior, all of the wrong, all of the shortcomings, actual flaws and shortcomings. I'm not just talking about, you were rude to somebody on the street or you said one thing here and there to somebody. Actual shortcomings, actual terrible behavior is forgiven just like that. Just because these people have money and they're glamorous. Just because of that. And good, decent people who are making a huge, real difference in this world are not forgiven for the tiniest mistake that they make. So basically, this world has become about, when it comes to selling and when it comes to people, good people, when it comes to actually good people, and when it comes to consumerism, this world, all of us, because of the celebrity culture, we have become about popularity. We've become about popularity. And yeah, you're not wrong, actually, Legend Boy. I wouldn't disagree with you on that either. We've become about popularity rather than quality. If we have 3 brands in front of us, we're not going to test them and see which one is better and buy that brand. It doesn't matter what we're talking about here. We will actually look for the brand that is the most famous person who's wearing it. And that goes back to the point that we were making earlier that I made, that these people who are setting these celebrities up and who are giving them all of those things that they need, to set up to give them the look that they need to prepare them for everything. They don't care about us. They don't care about the fact that we will buy the most expensive one and then not have money for groceries at the end of the month. But that's not all on them. That's on us too, That's also on us, because we are making that kind of sacrifice only for something that looks good, only for something that we have decided is better because it looks better, because it came in a pretty package, because somebody really beautiful and glamorous told us that this is a better product just because they use it. And most times we know that it's not something that they would probably use. And so it really just, defeats the purpose. So how is this harmful? This was just like an overview that I was giving you. Let's get a little bit more specific about it. So what we know now is, because of this constant media intake, and because of celebrities always endorsing different things and always on our screens, and we're always hearing about them, always talking about them, and, always consuming not just shows and TV shows, but their personal lives, there's more mental health problems. Not in just young adults, but also in adults as well. So issues like anxiety, low self-esteem, depression, feelings of worthlessness, all of these things are very, very prevalent in everyone nowadays, because we're not just consuming media, we're consuming the lives of the people that we trust, that we seem to think that are genuine people, that are real people, that we seem to think that we can connect with, that we can rely on. But obviously, that's really not the case, right? And honest truth, I'm sure you guys know this too, that celebrities have been around since the beginning of time. The saints, the kings, the priests, painters, all of these people, they've been celebrities, right? Some were revered in their time, they were appreciated, they were loved. Believe it or not, people had crushes on them like we do these days. Poets, theater actors, all of these people. This phenomena always existed. And it always filled a void. Of course, now it happens more and more, because at that time, you knew of somebody, you really appreciated their work. Maybe you got to see them, you got to meet them and appreciate them and talk to them. Many times, you got to see somebody, you got to talk to them, you liked them as a person, and you appreciated them even more, and you respected them even more. And that gave you a certain validation that somebody you appreciated so much appreciates you back and likes you as a person, and appreciates that you appreciate their work, right? And if you didn't like them as a person, you probably would just be like, okay, you're a jerk, I'm moving on, right? Moving on from, you, and maybe you would still appreciate their work, because, okay, well, you're a jerk, but your work's still beautiful. I'm still going to be, looking at it, appreciating it, going to your plays and the theater and all of that. And a lot of times we still do that. There's, some big rumor and you're like, I don't really care about that. I'm going to ignore it, and, I'm just going to do my thing. I'm still going to watch that show because, I appreciate the work you're doing. I don't care about your personal life. But here's here's the key thing. When I was talking about all these things, like we have more anxiety, more depression about this celebrity culture. We're all looking for validation. I mentioned that, right? How does this fit in over here? We all want to be appreciated. We all want to be loved. We all want to be cared for. And as the consumerist culture is becoming more and more prevalent, the idea of love and togetherness and being a big just the idea of a society sticking with each other is becoming less and less prevalent. And that's just a fact of our world, the world that we live in. So what these people, the people that we're calling celebrities, what they have started to provide is, we care about you, and if you guys are important, and when a movie comes out, no matter what kind of movie it is, the plug-in for the movie is always, these characters are so important, the character represents this and this character represents that, and we feed into that. And anybody can relate to some character somewhere, some person somewhere. And so we start to imagine these people as real people. So somebody will have somebody who they can feel, who they can relate to, who they can connect with. Whether you are an actor, you're an artist, you're a painter, you're a singer, the words will attract you. And this is that person's words. So you're feeling that void. You're feeling that love even though it's not about you. Feeling like, this is the validation I need. This person wrote these words. This person must know how I feel. This person acted in this movie and they talked about this particular role, this particular script. They understand. They must understand what I feel. Because we're missing that as a global society, a global community. We're missing that validation. I hope this is making sense. And I'm sure those of you who have celebrity crushes or celebrity connections that you feel with certain people, that's what it is. This person gets it. This person understands. They are so, they connect with their fans. They know what their fans need. They know what they want. What does that mean? We need their validation. We need them to care for us back. We need them to love us back. And then we keep asking for more. And we get that in bits and pieces, don't we? We get that with the new song that talks about little things here and there that we are thinking, and we're like, oh, see, that's what I'm talking about. Or a message on Instagram, or a live that they did, and we, typed a comment and they responded. And it's like, oh, gosh, I got what I wanted for a week. And then you want more. And then again, that happens. You sign up to something else, you watch something else, you say something else, you get a bit of validation from that person, and then you want more. You get a little bit of validation, and then when you don't get it the next time, you have anxiety. Do they really not care about the fans? Me? But then you get a little bit of it, because that's how this whole package is designed. That's how this product, this celebrity, is designed. To give you a little bit every now and again, to keep you hooked and keep coming back for more. Because you gotta pay for the next album, for the next movie, for the next season, or more artwork coming out. And then you get a little bit more. And in between, the period in between, you're feeling anxious because you're like, am I loved by this person? Am I personally cared for this person? Cared for by this person? And the depression and the anxiety and the feeling, the emptiness, that all takes over. For some people, it's a lot. For some people, it's little. And for some people, it's like, yeah, they're good at what they do, but I don't care much about that. It's all different levels. But it's kicking in. So you keep going back for more, and then you get a little bit, and you're satisfied for a bit. Then you go back for more, get a little bit. What? This pattern? Can you guess what it sounds like? What it probably feels like? I think you guys can guess. I think you guys know what I'm trying to get at. Yeah, it's an addiction. And it's on purpose. They want us addicted. They want us there. Because again, they're trying to sell this. They want us hooked to these people. They're supposed to talk this way. They're supposed to act this way. They're supposed to, give us these little pieces of them and then pull back. And then give us a little piece of themselves and then pull back. Otherwise, this doesn't work. Otherwise, this whole thing collapses. Why do you think Hollywood is collapsing? Because people are waking up to this. People are waking up to the fakeness of these people. And right now, it's just working. It's the things that is still hanging on to, because of the things that it's hanging on to, are actually people who are actually true artists. Few movies and few shows here and there. And because capitalism is such a huge system, it's not easy to topple it overnight. So basically, yeah, capitalism has us addicted to celebrity culture. And again, none of us are really immune to it. We've fallen for it. When you're younger, you're an easy prey. We've all done it. We've all fallen to it and fallen prey to it. And I'll say that even today, the people that we had crushes on when we were younger, when I was younger, I know now that was all bogus. But I tell you, I'll fight you today if you say anything about those people. I know what was going on. I understand that now. But it's just one of those things that's stuck in your head. It's like, don't you dare say anything about any of those people, any of those 15, 20 people. But yeah, it's a real problem, and it's a global problem that we are so trained to believe in all of that we get told we understand. Hi, Hirasaya, then Nurbed, I believe. And then there's a few other Fashion Hub and Ali Abdullah. These are the names I could easily take. So please don't be offended if I didn't mention your name. So yeah, our obsessions are not unfounded. Our like and our appreciation for these people is not unfounded. It is not wrong to appreciate people for the work they're doing, for their art, even for their celebrity. It is not wrong to do any of those things. But we do need to be mindful. We do need to be careful about how far we go with it and what the purpose is. What the purpose is for any of those things that we're doing. And of course, entertainment has to be limited anyways. We need to see how much time we're wasting and what else we can do with our time, how better to spend our time. Of course, all of that has to be in mind. But we don't. But now that we are aware of these things, we need to make sure that we are not abused by the system, right? So if you appreciate an artist and you want to enjoy their art, just make sure that you're only enjoying the art and you're not falling for any kind of tricks that will get you used and cause depression and anxiety and just kind of, have you fall for all these things that are not good for you. And validation of any kind doesn't come from strangers. It never comes from strangers. And to say things like, but they're not strangers for me. They are strangers for you. If you haven't sat down in a room one-on-one and have had coffee in your PJs or, late night snacks with them, they're strangers for you. If they haven't accepted you in your worst times and, you haven't cried on their shoulder, they're strangers for you. And these kind of things only happen with friends and family. I just want to say that, even though it should have been obvious from my comment that it happens with only friends and family, but nobody that that you haven't met or even have seen once for like 10 minutes and 15 minutes, if you get the chance, no, they don't know you. And that's not where you're going to get your validation. That's not where you're going to get your fulfillment. That's not where you're going to find love and contentment. And Nurbeg is saying, this is mentality which exists in India, Pakistan, slave mentality. Apologies for my choice of words. Do you think people love celebrity culture as it satisfies their need for a super being entity? Yeah, you're right. It isn't just in Pakistan and India, it's everywhere. And actually, it's worse in the Western countries, I would tell you. Because the reason I say that, it is, for us, we are more obsessed with people outside of the country, that's for sure. Like outside of Pakistan and India, because of the slave mentality thing, that everything Gora is wonderful. So we would do that, more of that with, white people. But in general, the obsession with like beauty and power and money is more so in the Western world, I would say. But for us, our obsession is more so with like white people and anything that's like that's white and that's American or British. We want it and we almost worship it. So you're right from that perspective. So a way to control that and the way to work on it, those of us who are aware and those of us who now are having a conversation about it, would be to just take a step back. Because again, like I said, there's no harm in watching and in once in a while indulging when you want to take a break or whatever. So just take a step back. Take a breather. Kind of try to see why you're watching the show, why you're looking at, after you've seen the show, why are you Googling this person, why are you Googling the artist, why are you Googling the actor or whoever, and you heard the song, why are you Googling the artist? Are you Googling because you want more songs? Are you doing it because, oh, he's so dreamy? Yeah, there's a difference. I mean, just kind of, your brain, you know how it works. Use your mind's eye to kind of figure out, how far you're going, when to stop yourself. Don't fall into the trap, is what I mean. Just try to keep yourself above it. And when you see that you're getting into the, oh, he understands, or she gets it, or this is important because they understand and they know how to do this and they understand us and they understand that, when you start to think and talk like that, that's when you have to step back, because they don't. Just remember that they are products and they have a job. They have to sell. Even if they're honest and they're good at their craft, they have a job to do, right? They have to sell their products. If they don't sell, they don't make money. And they might even be just doing an honest day's work because they might be really good at what they do. There's no denying that. But they still have a job to do. They have to sell and they don't know you. But they have to sell. So, just 2 + 2 is 4. That's just it. You don't have to hate them. You don't have to think negatively about them. You just have to know the facts. They have to sell their products. They don't know you. They just have to say nice things to you, pointed nice things that they know you will fall for. That's it. And they're taught lines because their bosses have researched you specifically. Me, if it's somebody in my age group, they've researched me and my age group, and they know how to talk to people like me to get me to be like, oh, this is so great. I get it. This person is awesome. I'm always following him and I want to know what he thinks or what she thinks. And he gets it or she gets it. Right? So that's the thing you have to just keep in mind. This person may not be a bad person, but they're taught to say this. And they may not, some people, I honestly believe some people don't know all of this background. And they're just told, here's the script. You're going to be selling this movie or, this album or this show and say these words. Every time you get on social media, this is what you're going to say. This is what you're going to type. You're going to pretend like you love these people that you don't know, that you have never seen or never met. And when you're out there and you see them, you're going to act like, oh my God, I love you all and you're wonderful and here, this and that, and take a picture and here, great. No harm done, right? And I'm going to add this before I end, honestly. A lot of times when they say, oh, this person is, terrible because they're rude to their fans or they're rude to the paparazzi or whatever, I kind of feel like that's unfair. Because, look, think about it. As a regular, normal human being, if I was walking down the street, and I know Pakistan mein itna nahi hota, jitna West mein hota hai. I was walking down the street somewhere. Did you say something else? Oh, no, sorry, it was the same comment. And no matter how great it was to be in some kind of movie or show or whatever it may be, I had a rush of people coming at me. I couldn't be happy about it. I don't know. As a normal person, I couldn't be like, oh my God, come here, my lovelies. Couldn't have that reaction. Think about it for a minute. You just be like, can you just keep a distance from me? And could you not, get too close or rush up on me? Or if I'm having dinner with my family and people just start coming up to me and saying, oh my God, can I take a picture? Oh my God. Or even if I'm not the person, it's my friend or my husband or my sister or my mom or dad or whoever, I would be annoyed and I would probably make a rude comment to at least one or two of them. And not like yell and scream at them, but I probably would be like, could you please stop now? I'm eating. I don't want anybody near me. I couldn't be friendly. I wouldn't be able to just smile and keep signing. And then if somebody else would and people would start saying she's a rude person, I always think like, I don't understand why these people are called rude. And I don't understand why there's so few of them who actually kind of tell these people to, don't come near me, walk away. And that's another sign that should show us that people who don't do that, people who are so appreciative and so happy to stop everywhere and take pictures and smile and talk are considered normal. And people who say, no, please don't, or don't come near me, or no, can you guys just move away from me, are considered not normal. Because a normal behavior would be, look, it's great that you like watching my shows and my movies and my art or whatever, but no, I don't want a picture, and no, I'm not going to sign anything, and I'm walking here, get out of my way. I don't know why, So it shows you how the normal has become the abnormal, and the abnormal has become complete normal. And that's been fed into us, and because when somebody is rude, a normal human being is rude when they're being attacked from all sides, we talk about how we are paying for their whatever and they're providing us a service and blah, 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 which is such a warped view of the world. Where it's like, no, they're just putting their art out there. You are not obligated to go watch or enjoy anything. Don't watch if you're going to put the responsibility on them to be pleasant to you at all times, day and night. So I've never understood this. And that is because they have been marketed. Again, I'm going to say it again because I keep saying this because we need to understand it. They have been marketed as a product. So they have to act like a product at all times. They are slaves to capitalism. So I'll go back to my original point that not all of them are doing this to deceive us. Not all of them are like, ha ha, I fooled you. This is something that has to be done. They're honest people trying to do an honest day's work, and now they're stuck in this loop where it's like, well, if you want to continue, you have to do this, 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 this. Otherwise, bye. So we have to remember all of these things as well, and we have to know that there's a whole system working behind this, and everybody's stuck in this loop, and we can choose to get out. We can choose to back away, and we can choose to understand that there's a person that we don't know. There's a complete stranger. There's an artist, and then there's a complete stranger that we don't know. And we shouldn't try to get to know, and we shouldn't try to pry into their private lives, and we shouldn't try to act like we know them and whatever. And yeah, it's okay to talk about with our friends and family and have a bit of fun about, you know what they did and you know what happened, and just keep it at that. At a little fun little thing, and then move on. Let's not make it too serious where our lives are impacted, other people's lives are impacted, or we go into depression and we go into, severe anxiety, and we have lack of feelings of love and connection, because that's not where we're going to get it. So I want to end this over here. Spoke a lot. Thank you for the input that you guys had, and I hope this made sense and you enjoyed it. And those of you who have not seen the episode on entertainment, we did that last week. Please go and watch it, because that will help put things in perspective even more. And I will see you next week. Have a great evening, day, morning, wherever you are. And Big is saying thanks for the valuable session. I really appreciate you being here and contributing to the session. I love it when we have back and forth, and you're in, all y'all's input. It really helps and shows me that I have, and whether it's an agreement or disagreement, it just helps me, and I really appreciate it. So until next time, Allah Hafiz.